Education quality reviews came out of education quality standards. The Board of Education included in one of its rules an expectation that the Secretary of Education, through the agency, would conduct some kind of a review to see how well education quality standards were being implemented in all of the schools.
Part of what the education quality review aimed towards solving is how do we provide our supervisory unions, districts, and schools with diverse enough data that they can then use to go measure their implementation of the education quality standards and to inform them of programs and practices and how to move forward in the future.
There were multiple different avenues in which we gathered input, but probably the two most powerful were the summits,
where educators from the field came in and gave input into not only kind of the process of the education quality reviews, but what that diverse data could then be used for.
So rather than just relying on a standardized test score, we are collecting data from a number of areas: financial efficiencies, personalization, safe, healthy schools, et cetera, which are all part of our education quality standards.
We went through and made sure we had representation from every county, every role that was available to us, and we brought people together and said, how are we going to communicate to our public the quality of our schools and implementing education quality standards?
Even though it's hard to assess quality in the way that people really mean quality, we at least have the courage to try.
And so it starts with the host school. Their responsibility is to be vulnerable and to take a risk by having all these people come in and examine them with a microscope, and then be open to that feedback and be willing to implement something afterwards. Then you have the visiting team, which is comprised of mostly practitioners, but from a variety of perspectives, and a few AOE staff. And their responsibility, which they take very seriously, is to go in and collect the best evidence possible so that the host site actually has something that they can do.
This process really looks at a wide spectrum of what's going on in schools, and that's valuable. I think it also relies on a team of people who are practicing educators who care about kids and care about quality.
We designed a series of activities to help people give us their input, to give us a vision. What would it look like if we were successful at doing this? What would we expect to see the outcomes be of that, and what kinds of things would we measure?
Educators really appreciated seeing other educators in action. That's something they don't get to do often. It's not necessarily built into their daily schedule. So they were really taking notes on good practices and people they might want to connect with later to collaborate on.
But part of what was great about the Education Quality Standards Field Review was mixing administrators and teachers and agency of ed people together. So you had people who are different kinds of experts in different aspects of a problem that you're trying to come up with solutions for.
And this is a real opportunity to look at all those different areas related to quality education.
Really examine the system and make sure that we are providing the greatest education we can for kids.
We were really impressed with the amount of great information and feedback that we got in a really short period of time.